this is Keisha and I'm here with my friend Kiara. We're gonna bring you the girls version of the guys video that y'all seen because that was this week. We're gonna talk about the same topics they did: cheating, relationship influences, and sex as well. Mom, if you're watching, don't judge. But no, we're gonna give a girl's perspective
because we grown now.
Yes. We're gonna give a woman's perspective of the same topics that the guys did. Alright, so let's start with cheating. What do you classify as cheating?
I classify cheating as anything that you would not want your significant other to see. If you're texting somebody else and you're fine with your partner seeing it, then that's not cheating because you can look at it, that's fine. Anything that you don't want your partner to see, that you have to sneak to do, that is considered cheating.
And cheating doesn't start off with being physical with someone. It's that attention, that emotional tie that you give someone else, that is cheating.
Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be just sex. A lot of men make the mistake of thinking that it's just sex. But I hear guys say all the time like, oh, when a man cheats, it's nothing. But when a woman cheats, it's all the emotions. But guess what? That woman cheating, it started from a conversation. And then that man was showing her the extra attention that she wasn't getting from you. And then it led to cheating. So in a woman's brain, if you're a man and you're having these conversations with another woman and you're giving this attention to another woman, in our minds, you're on the road to cheating.
Yes, very much so. Why do you think some guys, why do they cheat?
Well,
because I've seen
it depends on the type of man and where he's at in his life. Because there are men who are good men overall, but are not in a place in their life where being faithful is that important to them. And then there are men who are just, I know both. I know good men who have made just bad choices. And then I know men who pretend that they're good men and they want to have their cake and eat it too. And see, I'm fairly young, but in the amount of time that I've spent in relationships and friends relationships and having guy friends and seeing their relationships, it has opened me up to one thing. I have a new belief. I don't believe that most men, I can't say all men, I don't believe that most men are ready to deal with everything that comes along with monogamous relationships and marriage until they're at least 30. But around the time that men roll up on 30 is most of the time where their career is good, they're in a comfortable place in their career, they're making the money that they want to make, their life is secure enough to add a woman to it who can add value. That really doesn't happen until they, in my opinion, get about 30.
No, I agree.
I'm just saying.
You do have those unicorns out there, like you did say that.
Yeah.
You know, before 30, that, this is what I want.
He's definitely a unicorn.
That really sucks though for a majority of the women out there who, like you said, they're on that, they have that time clock running, and they're interested and they're putting their time into a relationship and it may not go the way expected. But the whole cheating thing, I just think it's pointless, it's stupid.
But I do think, and this is going to be an unpopular opinion, I do think if you're in a relationship with a man and this man is willing to communicate, I'm not happy because X, Y, and Z, and you don't do anything to change that, then that's kind of in his brain giving him the green light to go cheat. Now, I don't think it's right, but I do think, men, men are not very emotional or vocal creatures from what I've seen. If a man has an issue, if he comes to you and says, look, I'm not getting none and this is really bothering me, I need you to change that. I really want to work this out, I really want to be with you, but I need to be physical with you to make this okay. And you whatever, I don't even care because you get on my nerves, and then you don't change it. For him, it's well, I already told her, she's not doing nothing about it. So even though it's wrong, even though everything that goes along with cheating, the deceit, the lying, all that stuff is messed up, even though he should just leave, most men won't. Most men will just go out and get their taste and then come back and, feel like it's, got that
until thing hits the fan and then, well, I told you and this is what I wanted and you didn't do it.
Because if they do it once,
that scars a woman too.
Yeah.
They don't realize stuff like that scars a woman. That creates insecurities. Even if they didn't have insecurities and then that situation happened, that increases more insecurities.
And men say, like, I don't know why, it was just a one-time thing, because as a woman, you begin to inadvertently compare yourself to that other woman. What does she have that I don't have? What was so special about her that it would make you jeopardize all of our situation we got going on here for that one time? So as much as like in a man's brain, how it's like it shouldn't make you feel uncomfortable, you shouldn't be insecure, it creates them.
Yeah, that's real. That is real. So, we're starting? Or in the meeting? Our next topic we're going to talk about is relationship influences. And that's just, we all have family and friends who have opinions about the relationships we may encounter throughout our lives. And I feel as though you don't tell your family and friends everything in your relationship, especially the negative things in your relationship, because then they're going to take whatever negative situation and hold that over that person's head forever. Like, it's always going to be like, oh yeah, that's the dude who did this and that and the third. Oh yeah, and he did this too. And it's not good, because then it's going to put a rift in your relationship. So how do you feel about influences?
I learned this relationship of influencing thing because I was the influence at one point. My best friend was dating somebody that I hated, and I hated them because of the things that they did to her. The amount of times I saw her cry, the amount of times I saw them fight, how her personality changed while she was with them. So I became an absolute B-word to this person. Like, they would be like, hey Kiara, like, and then I became that influence in her life. Then I became an issue in her situation. Like, okay, well, like, Kiara, they're coming. Like, I need you to chill out. No promises, because last time I saw them, you know what I mean? And so that's where I learned how not everything needs to be shared. Now, I share enough with my friends, because when you fight with your partner, you need somebody to talk to. You gotta get it out some way. But I've learned, if I'm going to share, let me share when I'm not angry and I'm not upset and I'm not pissed about it. Let me share vaguely what's going on, so they don't need to know what names I called him, what names he called me, or if anybody got loud.
And it also, I also feel like you tell certain people certain things. Like, you may have one friend that you can tell everything to, like pour your heart out, cry on their shoulders and everything, and then your other friends, you don't tell them that side, because they're going to take it and flip it and run with it and twist it and then ready to pop off for no reason.
Yeah, and then letting people into what goes on in your relationship too. As a person, once you get that many opinions about what's going on in your relationship, then you have to decipher between, well, this person said this person said this, but I think this. Anybody can say, no matter how strong-minded you think you are, when you hear something from somebody and it makes sense to you, it makes you start to think on what they said. And not only is that a little dangerous, because you are letting somebody who's not in your situation, who doesn't have your feelings, dictate your situation with that person. But if you're making permanent decisions off of short-term feelings, because of what auntie such and such said, or uncle blah 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 said, or your mama said, then you have to deal with the day-to-day of that decision that you made. So even though your mom says, I don't think he's good for you, and and I don't like him, blah 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 blah, it may hold weight, but don't take it like, oh, well, we can't be together because my mama said she can be sneaky.
And that's another thing that I feel some females who are very close to their mothers have that issue of, my mom, she always wants the best, but times now and times then are different. So I'm gonna have to go through life differently. Yeah, they may seem similar, but you're gonna have to trust in my decisions as a woman to handle the certain situations. Yeah, I'll listen to your advice, but it's gonna be up to me if I'm gonna take it or adhere to my relationship or not. Some others like fight back on that. Like, see, I told, like, just wanna go pop off for no reason, and then you feel even worse because now your mom's mad at you and your dude's mad at you, and it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling. So, families, like, if you have an opinion about your family member's relationship, like, just let it be an opinion and leave it up to them to figure out what they're going to do with it or not. Like, don't put that pressure on them to, like, they have to take your advice or they're gonna fail at everything. That's not how you should do things.
Yes, because my mom is a relationship thug, and I can't live that life because I have too many feelings that she ain't got no more, so I can't take her advice because as much as I love my mom and that's my best friend, that woman there, she. Whew. So I'm a little too soft-hearted to think like that because my mom be like, fuck it, girl, it's over. Like, I'm like, no, mom, but I love him. Like, you know what I mean?
You do,
like,
yeah.
I can't take advice from mom, but I listen to what she says, and I take into account what she says, and then my punk ass do whatever I feel like I need to do.
All right. So our last topic, we're gonna talk about sex.
Baby,
Let's talk about
and me.
cue the music. But yeah, we're gonna talk about sex, and we're not just getting nasty with it, but it's like certain things.
I'm a Christian. I don't get nasty.
How important sex is in a relationship.
I got really good advice from my coworker. I have a coworker who's married, and he says men, everything revolves around sex. He was like, and if you have sex with your dude in the morning, he was like, our whole day is different because we started off our day with something. So like, what do we think about for the rest of the day? I already got it. And I was like, are you kidding? And he was dead serious, and he was like, you have to think. He said, if your man, if you feel like he's super attentive and he really pays attention to you and your thoughts and your needs and how you're feeling, and he said he's doing that to gauge what the probability of him getting some booty is.
Fellas, if this is true, please comment below.
No judgment.
Thumbs up. Like, don't, like, no judgment. Like, if that's true, like,
I
that's
just want to
really
know because it sounds real to me.
Yeah, that does.
It makes a lot of sense to me.
It does make
because
sense.
every time you ever be talking to a dude and you be like really talking and you can see that kind of just glaze. That's what they're thinking. Like, they don't care what happened between you and Chanelica at work. They don't care.
Okay, as a woman, how do you feel it's just as important?
I feel that it is just as important, but I do not feel that it needs to be as frequent. In particular, and this is just me, I don't like to have sex nightly. What? Because I like to have something to miss. Like, dang, like, I ain't getting none today. It's looking real good. Like, I ain't getting none yesterday. If it's Monday and we have sex on Monday, even though I may want to again on Tuesday, I may be like, all right, I'm good. You know, it's like a little bottle. Like, my bottle is full. And like, as the hours go on, it just drains and drains and drains. So by like Wednesday, I'm like, all right, let's finish up this dinner stuff. Let's get this going, because we got things to do.
But yeah, like, I don't want to do it so often because, yeah, like you said, it's not necessarily like I want something to miss. It's just, I don't want it to be satiated. Big word there.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be tiresome.
Then it's not exciting anymore.
Yeah.
It's not like, great, we have sex every day, but like, some days I'm tired. Like, some days, you know, you go to work and I come home and then I have the baby, and then it's just, some days it's just a lot. Some days I want to go to bed at 8:30.
I want to go to bed at 8:30.
I do. There's a lot of days I just want to put the baby to bed and just go lay down and watch Ratchet TV Mondays and chill. And then there are some days that I'm at work and I'm like, God, I just can't wait to get off so I can, you know. It's a give and take. But there are some guys who understand that, and then there are some guys who need it every day. And if that is the way your man is and he's telling you that's what he needs, then that's what he needs. But I think one thing that women have to get through their heads too is sometimes you just don't want to be like, I don't want to be dealt with right now, leave me alone. And if he's asking for something, just give him something. You ain't gotta give him the whole cookie jar, but maybe like a crumb.
What?
Like a little one.
That's funny. All right, so how do you feel about sex before marriage? Well, you got a whole baby, so.
No, but okay, so here's my thing on it, because I have a lot of friends who are very religious who feel like, you know, sex before marriage is wrong and I'm shacking and things like that.
Yeah,
However,
I get that.
I feel like you do what works for you, because different people have different needs. And for some people, it's okay to not be physical with your partner and to not live with them before you're engaged in all of those things. For me, I'm not like that.
Yeah. For me, I want to know, for me, because cohabitation is a whole nother world.
And people say it's like, oh, it's just if they're dirty or not. It's not if just if
no,
they're
it's just
dirty.
it's seeing if y'all are
Compatible.
Like, compatible. And I need to know that before I take your last name, like, because after that, like, I don't want to be one of those couples that get divorced 2 years later because of some nonsense. Like, if I could have it my way, I don't want divorce to be an option. I want us to be able to work through our issues and we continue to build and grow together. But if we're in a relationship and we didn't have that moment of cohabitation to figure out what works for us and how we can manage our household together, I feel like that's going to give me the blueprint for what's to come later on. And I get that backlash like, oh, Keisha, y'all, shacking.
Okay, first of all, it's not, because I have a whole child, bought a house, and I'm still not married. So whatever backlash you're gonna get times a million.
Well, I get it, but you get it more.
But it's just it's what works for us. Mm-hmm. Now we plan to do things the traditional way.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out that way. So we're in a situation now where we're finding our legs, because when you create a home with a person, it's very different than I'ma just come spend the night. Because a lot of people are like, oh, you could just spend the night with them. But it's different than just spending the night. Because I'm a true believer, when you date someone, you're dating their representative.
Yeah.
Not the real them. You're dating you're dating who they want you to know. And when you get into a home and they get comfortable, you figure out who they really are. The little things about them, the big things about them. For me, myself personally, and some people it doesn't matter to them. Cohabitation doesn't matter to them at all. I love you, whether we live together or not, and whatever you throw at me after we move in, we just gonna deal with it. I am not like that. I needed to cohabitate with this person. I needed to see what kind of life that I would have with them and if I would be okay with that life before I said, all right, cool, we're gonna get married. Because like I said, like you said, like marriage is not all right, we're married, let's get divorced. It's in my brain, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So if I'm marrying this person, I know all the good, the bad,
the ugly.
He knows all my good and my bad, because one thing that I don't think people understand in relationships is everybody has baggage. And you choosing to marry that person is saying that I'm ready to accept all of your bullshit for the rest of my life. And I don't think a lot of people realize that until you move in together with how much that baggage that person has.
Yeah, that is true. And the whole cohabitation part lets you see that of the other person.
Times a million.
All right. So that was it for us. But thank you, Kiara, for coming. If y'all didn't know, Kiara was my roommate.
The best roommate ever.
In college.
Who
one of my
harassed you all the
besties.
time.
Yes. She was really one of my besties.
And Keisha was my roommate who was very mean to me all the time. And whenever she would buy me ice cream and I would forgive her.
I was never mean, but I did buy her ice cream. And she cooked for me. But yeah, she was one of my roomies. Like we did have a moment where we did fall off a little bit, but we're building that back up. So I'm glad that you were here.
No problem.
To do this video with me. If you want to see more videos like this with Kiara and I, because I feel like we're gonna get way more views than the guys did.
Because women are better.
We rule the world. But yes, if you want to see more videos with me and Kiara, please comment below, like and subscribe this video, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you soon. Bye.